Hey guys, it's Cameroon and welcome back to another video. Now I know this video is a little late since the balance patch notes came out yesterday with everything else, but I thought it would still be a good idea to cover all of the hero balance changes quickly before Season 5 launches today so you know exactly what to expect. Now before I discuss balance, there's just a couple of other changes I didn't mention in the previous Season 5 video that I'll go through real quick. The On Fire system returns with some changes. This includes a new state called Blazing, which is just a more apparent fire for doing exceptional plays. Eliminations are also not the only thing that counts towards building up fire too. They also mentioned some changes to matchmaking. They claim to have added a new functionality that should create matches with a narrower skill range, meaning more balanced matches. And now the matchmaker prioritizes placing similar groups with wide skill ranges into the same match, meaning if you're playing solo, you are less likely to be placed in those types of matches. And lastly, they announced that Overwatch 2's PvE mode will cost money. So when Season 6 launches on August 10th, the 3 story missions will be purchasable in a bundle priced at $15 USD. The bundle gives permanent access, that's an interesting choice of words, to the Invasion story missions, a Sojourn skin, and 1,000 Overwatch coins. There's also a more expensive bundle too for $40 USD, which just gives you more skins, coins, tier skips, and the battle pass. In my personal opinion, I'm not too thrilled about this, but it makes sense. The original PvE was meant to be priced as well, but that mode definitely was going to offer more content to play. So right now, I'm personally not going to get it, as $15 for 3 missions just isn't worth it for me. Maybe they'll win me over with gameplay or something, but we'll see. And for anyone who does buy it, have fun with the mode. And that was all of the other updates. Now let's get into the juice of the video. Let's first talk about tanks. Jarka Queen received a nerf with her ultimate now building up 15% slower, and her temporary health from Commanding Shout has been reduced from 200 to 150. I don't think these changes are going to make her too weak. I think she's still going to be a very strong tank because of her passive healing. Roadhog received a buff to his healing, which is called Take a Breather, by the way. I didn't even know that. It now also amplifies his healing received by 50% after finishing that animation. It's a weird change, and I'm not really sure how I feel about it. I guess we'll see when the update goes live. Now let's move on to damage. This is where the most important things happen. Cassidy received a bunch of changes to his magnetic grenade. It no longer has a maximum projectile travel range of 10 meters, meaning you could throw it from however far you like. The projectile now magnetizes towards an enemy target from 1.5 meters away and chases them for up to 1 second, meaning if you throw it close, it still will do its magnetic thing. Its impact damage has been increased from 0 to 10, with its explosion damage being reduced from 120 to 70. Stuck targets now have their movement slowed by 30%, and stuck targets are affected by a hindered status effect, which interrupts and prevents all movement abilities from being activated, which means say if you're a Reaper, you can't Wraith, or a Tracer, you can't Blink. These changes are going to be very interesting to say the least. I'm not a big fan of CC, but hopefully it's not too oppressive and the game still has a good flow to it. Then we'll move on to Hanzo. His Sonic Arrow now plays the impact sound effect for the enemy team as well, and the visual effect is now briefly visible for the enemy team too when it's first deployed. This is just to help the other team identify when Hanzo has his walls to help avoid random picks. His bow's damage has also been reduced from 125 to 120 to prevent 250 HP heroes from being one-shot. Mei had a bunch of changes revolving around her main weapon. Her damage per second has been reduced from 100 to 55. Her primary slow is no longer a flat 40% and now builds from 30% to 50%. And on top of that, her primary fire now builds up a much stronger slowing effect that sticks to the enemy target for 1.5 seconds, slowing their movement speed down by 75%. Her secondary fire, which is her Icicle, can then detonate this new slow effect, dealing an additional 40 damage. Now, with all these changes in mind, if the target she's dealing with has 200 HP and isn't receiving any healing, she can now do her Freeze Icicle combo again and eliminate whoever she's dealing with. We'll see if this becomes very oppressive or apparent when the update releases. Hopefully Mei isn't strong, but who knows. Reaper can no longer Wraith form while affected by mobility locking effects such as Magnetic Grenade, Steel Trap, Graviton Surge, and more. This will be interesting since now Reaper won't be able to mitigate damage while in Junkrat's Trap or Zarya's ult. Tracer received a tiny nerf to her pulse pistols, having their spread increased by 15%, meaning you're less accurate from a distance. Widowmaker received a substantial nerf to her sniper rifle. Her scope shot damage fall off min-max range has been reduced from 70 to 100 meters to 40 to 60 meters, and her maximum damage fall off has been increased from 30 to 50%, meaning the farther away the target is, the less damage she deals. Both of these changes now mean she can no longer one-shot 200 HP heroes that are farther than 50 meters. I personally love this change because Widow can sometimes take over a lobby, and it's just not fun to play in those lobbies. Then we have support. Lifeweaver received a bunch of tweaks to pretty much everything, so we're going to try to go through this pretty quickly. So in general, his petal ornaments on his back have had their size and hit volume reduced by 10%, making his hitbox smaller. His Healing Blossom, which is his primary healing, has its maximum healing increased from 65 to 75 HP. His Thorn Volley, which is his weapon, had its damage per projectile increased from 5 to 6. Its projectile radius increased from 0.1 to 0.1.25, and his ammo increased from 60 to 70, meaning he can deal a little bit more DPS. His pedal platform now has a larger walkable area, area by 15%, and the area to trigger lift now shrinks from a radius of 2 to 0.75 meters after the initial placement, meaning you won't accidentally trigger the pedal immediately. Life Grip also had its cooldown reduced from 20 to 16 seconds, and it now heals the target ally for 50 health. I'm not a big fan of the Life Grip change, but everything else so far is pretty good. I just don't like the idea of giving health to an ability that already gives immortality. And finally, his Tree of Life had its cost increased by 8%. Lastly, Moira's Fade can no longer be activated while affected by mobility locking effects, like Magnetic Grenade, Steel Trap, and Graviton Surge. Again, another interesting change, meaning if she gets stuck in a Junkrat trap, she's going to get eliminated. And that is all of the balance changes coming to Season 5. Let me know what you think of these changes in the comments below, because I'm very curious to see how all you feel about them. Of course, I'm interested in seeing Cassidy and Mei and how their new soft CC will affect the game, and I'm also happy about the Widow nerfs and feel like I'll be able to play maps like Junkertown and Circuit without feeling like a Widow is dominating the lobby. They still can dominate the lobby, but they gotta play a lot closer. Anyways, if you found the video useful or enjoyed watching it, consider leaving a like and subscribing. All of the comments, the likes, and just any other support you've been giving me means the world to me, so thank you so much. Expect another video later today covering the Battle Pass for Season 5, but yeah, that's it. Bye-bye.